Synchronicity University has some absolutely incredible programs starting this July. Summer school at synchronicityuniversity.com. As low as just $5 a class is on right now for a limited time to learn from me, Mark Laurenson, Alex TRENOWETH, and so many more. Links are in the description below. Hello, fabulous friends, fans, and superstars. Welcome to your horoscope for the week of June 2nd, 2024. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. It is a remarkable astrological week, without a doubt. Big moves happening in the sky now. Boy, is this a very special time, and it truly is special. This is the first full week that Jupiter will spend in the sign of Gemini. It was last week that Jupiter changed signs and began a journey that will be another year, just over a year in the making. And it starts strong because it is now that we start this week with Jupiter moving into supremely harmonious alignment with Pluto. This connection, a trine between Jupiter and Pluto, is rare. It happens twice in any given 14-year period. And when it happens, these two energies operate together on high, in harmony and support. Whatever it is that Pluto touches, it adds an intensity to it, a focus. And whatever it is that Jupiter touches, it brings that much more optimism and expansion. When it is a supremely harmonious connection like we see here, well, it is both of these planets that are encouraged by each other and bring forward the very best. Both planets now are in air signs. It is Pluto that is in the sign of Aquarius and early in its 2-year decade ahead, moving through this sign. And of course, it's just been days that Jupiter has been in the sign of Gemini, also an air sign. And so a lot of the big blessings are likely going to come about for us through social events, through what we hear, through what we say, through our connections with others, whether they're new or established. It is in our random interactions now that something could open up within us, in our mind, and an idea comes to us, and that ends up being exactly the thing that creates a momentum that allows even greater blessings to unfold. Or it just might be running into somebody and having a conversation with another person that ends up being what we need for greater opportunity to be made available. Whether it is that the blessings feel personal or whether it is that they feel more external, more consequential, professional perhaps, either way, people are a key part of what allows big blessings to follow. And it's the information that we receive that makes the biggest deal now. So stay open to inspiration and to the ideas as they present themselves to us. Mercury is providing tremendous support on Sunday, speaking in harmony with Neptune on its way towards changing signs and moving into the sign of Gemini. And then very quickly, it is going to be over the course of Monday and Tuesday that Mercury will meet Jupiter and speak in supreme harmony with Pluto. When we just look at these big planets of Jupiter and Pluto, the energies can become quite meta. They can feel like they're out there. But Mercury being a personal planet, we're able to tap into the energy that much more easily. And it connects us that much more with what's actually happening on those levels of conversation, of mind, of ideas, being the source of great potential fortune for each of us in our own ways now. But Mercury being in the mix also makes these celestial events that much more real, that much more experienced, that much more felt, and it makes it that much more an opportunity for us. It emphasizes the need to be willing to have the conversation, to send the email, to send the text, to be willing to stop, to be open to random interactions. It makes the likelihood of hearing something we really like that makes all the difference that much more possible. And it makes it that much more likely that whatever ideas do pop up now, we're able to understand the steps required to run with it, so that we can ensure that it's not just an idea, it's not just a potential, but it can manifest into more, something better. And very likely, because it is mercurial energy, those manifestations can happen very quickly now. Mercury is in the sign of its home, the sign of Gemini. Now, not right out of the gate, but soon after the week begins, Mercury moves in here in order to meet Jupiter, in order to speak in supreme harmony with Pluto. And when Mercury is at home, it's able to bring forward its best energies that much more easily. And in this case, the best energies of Mercury are lightness and ease in conversation. Every conversation doesn't need to mean something. It doesn't need to be heavy with consequence and hope, but rather we can truly be present in the moment, enough so that we relax. We can make the most of a moment because we don't carry heavy expectations on it. Now, after the moment is over, that's when enthusiasm, excitement, hope can start to set in. But at least while we're engaged with others, while we are present for our lives, we can allow magic to unfold. You know, whenever it is that I do a meditation, I like to start any class I teach with a short visualization and breathing exercise, setting an intention. And I always say that breath is the experience of the present moment itself, and the present is where the power is. The present is where the most powerful learning can take place. I do think that Mercury in the sign of Gemini, meeting Jupiter and trine Pluto, is going to help bring these truths home to us in very personal ways. The present moment itself is where the power is. And whether that means the power for meaningful connections, the power to put our insecurities aside so that we're willing to ask for what we want, we're able to make the pitch that we hope will land us some opportunity, we're just able to release fear enough because we're so in the present moment that we allow ourselves to consider what could be possible to us. All of this has a powerful way of coming together in ways that maybe we hadn't even anticipated or expected. But that's the thing with Mercury. Mercury works fast. And sometimes those quick connections might only be within us, on levels of heart, on levels of ideas. But very quickly, we'll be able to see how ideas become real through action and inspiration. Now, although all that Jupiter-Pluto energy is certainly the star of the show right out of the gate, let's not forget the fact that on Thursday we are going to have a new moon in the sign of Gemini, the same sign that Jupiter is now in. And this new moon is close in the sky to Venus. I find that remarkable. It is Venus that the ancients considered the lower benefic, and it is Jupiter that the ancients called the higher benefic. Benefic means blessing. The fact that both are in the same part of the sky, the same energy, the same sign, it speaks to how much mind and synchronicity is our pathway towards big, bright blessings. But with a new moon, it's also our pathway towards new beginnings, new opportunities, and new potentials. There is a sense of pathways opening up where we didn't even think that they were there. There's a randomness to what feels like it might occur now, but that can make it that much more sweet, that much more heartwarming. The new moon being in the sign of Gemini, Gemini is the energy of what we are talking about, quite literally. You add Mercury into the mix. Mercury has to do with the media and what we as a collective are talking about, which will newly be in the sign of Gemini as well. So I think there's going to be a lot of chatter. There's going to be a focus on what the media is saying, what they aren't. But I think there are likely going to be some very insightful, truth-oriented, probe-oriented types of stories that are released now that end up being very illuminating. In fact, there's something about the truth that changes things. And it could be at this time that for the collective, some truths feel like they come to the surface, like they come out, and it ends up being a force of transformation, a big game changer. Certainly for the collective, but the information can be applied personally as well for each of us. It is as information is released, as information gets out, as more and more people change their minds, that we start to notice the world itself going through a transformation and a change much more consciously than it's already been occurring. Transformation and change is always afoot. It is always under the surface. It is always ready to be had. But then we get these moments that feel like a lot comes together. The willingness of people to listen, the willingness to have difficult conversations, the willingness to share what it is that otherwise is difficult to share, is difficult to say, and it all comes together as a point of power that makes a big difference locally, but certainly on the world stage as well. Information now is of huge consequence, and we'll find that stirring. We'll find important information coming to light. Now, in our own lives, this is our own understandings. Feeling a sense of being able to discover truths within ourselves, understand where it is that we're ready to focus the energy of transformation, of regeneration, where it is we're getting in touch with truths that we kept even from ourselves, where we weren't ready to admit certain things to ourselves about who we really are, what we really feel, or what we're really wanting. Because if we did, it would mean that we had to change something, and the cost of that, the consequence of that might have felt too great until we were ready. And we can't know that we're ready until we are. Now, whatever it is that needs to be said, whatever truth it is that needs to come forward, consider that it's going to be difficult to say. And I say that because Saturn is square this new moon. But it is by putting things into words that our most powerful healing and growth can occur. And I say that because Chiron is speaking in harmony with this new moon as well. Such profound energies that have the potential to change things for us. Now, with Saturn square, that can represent the challenge to embrace the opportunity to speak, to say. However, Saturn squares can also sometimes suggest a need for patience. Now, that patience can sometimes be with ourselves, but might be others that we have to be patient with. It might be patient with finding the right time at the right moment to say what it is that needs to be said. But even then, I would invite you to be careful with that, because there are different motivations behind why we say what we do, why we share what we do, and when we do. Sometimes we say it's because we have to speak our truth, but what we're really trying to do is hurt somebody else because we feel hurt. And that is not necessarily the most enlightened path to take. But there are certain things that we say, not to hurt, but rather to heal ourselves, to heal others. And it is embracing the healing power of saying what it is that is true for us and being willing to be starkly honest with ourselves that the great potential here lies. The ability, the willingness to make change from the inside out. The kind that makes us more clear about who we are. We are the kinds of people who can have difficult conversations and know that whatever happens, we're going to be okay. And you really will be okay. Where we keep healing at the forefront, well, we might think we're bringing healing to another person, but actually may end up being a force of healing in our own lives at this time. It also becomes important to be open to information where it is that it might find us by happenstance, by synchronicity, that ends up being the healing balm that we need. Ends up being what it is we need to hear, what it is we need to understand. That can facilitate a great shift from within. And that shift might just be the launching board towards that sense of clarity that a healed self allows to bring forward with that much more ease and that much more grace. Now, finally, Venus is busy in the sky this week on Tuesday, meeting the sun in the sky, and then on Saturday, connecting in a conversation of tension with Saturn. The meeting of the sun and Venus amplifies a sense of possibility, and I feel like there's just such energies here that are about expanding, growing, bringing light, bringing heat, bringing power, bringing intensity. And so Venus becomes a part of that. Venus hand in hand with the new moon, which also means Venus is hand in hand with the sun. So it makes sense that under the light of a new moon, we get this conjunction taking place. It amplifies an energy of love within us. But remember, this is in the energy of Gemini. We are seeing with eyes of love. We are perceiving the world from a place of love. That can be part of our strength at this time. But it is at the end of the week. Venus square Saturn is some hard truth. And the emphasis is on challenging. I think of Saturn as representing reality check moments, but it's also an evaluation. It's sacrifice and awareness of the sacrifices that have been made and what a moment might be calling for us now. And when it is that it's a square with Venus, we're looking at what we're hoping to manifest, whether that's love or beauty or money or pleasure, and looking at the cost. The cost might be in terms of our time, in terms of our energy, in terms of our money. But with Saturn, there's always some sacrifice involved. But then that means when we do attain the thing, it can feel that much more rewarding, that much more sweeter. With squares, which is the type of conversation playing out here of tension, squares mean activity. It means something is taking place. Whether that's frustration that's motivating it or just our own determination and desire for change to occur, all of it feels like it comes together now. It wraps up in a way. And this can be one of those very important moments that give us, on the one hand, insight into ourselves, considering that Venus is meeting the sun in the sky, but ultimately those squares of Saturn. At the end of this week, it's Venus square Saturn. At the beginning of next week, it'll be the sun square Saturn. These squares do suggest that we are coming to terms with some reality and that we're evaluating now where we are and where we want to be and considering our pathway towards it. Sometimes, not necessarily during a square, but really with Saturn, there are times when we might cut our losses. Might say, okay, my honest evaluation leads me to recognize that I have sacrificed this much and it's enough, no more. But with Saturn, I've also found there's a need to be patient. And being patient can go a very long way towards manifesting something that we can feel good about. Renaissance astrologer and priest Marcello Ficino thought of Saturn as what he called the Christ principle. And it speaks to faith without works is dead. And he has spoken about how important Saturn is as part of any spiritual journey and spiritual practice. Unless we have Saturn, then what we have is a dream. What we have is a hope. What we have is we can tell ourselves anything. But it's with Saturn that we show ourselves what we're really made of, that we show ourselves what our faith is made of. And it is there that we know faith to become real. Saturn can be a great gift when you use it. And when you don't use it, according to Ficino, Saturn can turn in on itself. It can become a source of depression unless we take action. And if we do take action with Saturn, we're able to make faith into something so real as to be unstoppable. We embody faith. And it is from that faith that great manifestations become that much more likely. What I love about this week for us, there's so much here. It's a valuable and meaningful astrological moment. I'm going to say I love Jupiter trine Pluto, Mercury in the mix. That is the star of the show now. There is tremendous focus and intention and enthusiasm available to us now. A lot of it is rooted in the ideas that we hold, but ideas change the world. Ideas are powerful. And it is at a moment like this that so many of us are being encouraged to uncover our power. It comes about through our random interactions with others. It's like our world and our lives are encouraging us to tap into some truth within. It's in listening to our environment that we become that much more aware of synchronicities at play. And ultimately, every synchronicity is there to help us to remember to connect to an understanding that all of life and the impetus to our lives is to move towards greater love and greater wisdom. And it's all around us and within us as well. And at a time like this, it becomes a source of positive change in our lives. Well, thank you so much for watching. What do you love about this week? Let me know in the comments below. I love reading you guys, and to prove it to you, here's some of my most recent favorite comments. Thank you to everybody who likes, who comments, who subscribes, who shares a thumbs up. All of it means so much. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you. And of course, if you want to know how all this wonderful stuff this week speaks to you and your sign, log on to NadiyaShahSuperstars.com, where you get expanded exclusive video scopes each and every week for as low as just $3 a month with choose your membership rate. Higher tiers get you things like all access passes to Synchronicity University events, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the superstar space at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. Links are in the description below. A massive thank you to everybody who ordered their advanced copy of Ravens and Dragonflies, Outer Planet Transits through the Houses of Astrology. And you can pre-order on Amazon. You get free gifts if you do. Use one of the links at synchronicitypublications.com to go to the country of your choice. And wherever it is that you end up purchasing your advanced copy, you can send us the receipt. All the instructions are at Synchronicity Publications, and June 11 is when the book will belong to the world, and you'll get the 5-part class on outer planet transits, and you'll also get access to a live event. So I hope that you will join us. I just thank you all so much for your love and support of my work, and for this book as well. It was such a labor of love, a labor of heart, and it really feels like pouring my heart onto the page, you know. And already people are getting their copy. It's being so well received for the advanced copies, and I just thank you. Thank you so much. The book has already started ranking. Now the ranks change every hour over at Amazon, but I already saw it rank #1 under horoscopes. It was #3 under all astrology new releases. It even was ranking under the New Age books, the very broad umbrella of New Age books. And I just thought that that was incredible with so many days still ahead. The book is already ranking, and to you, I thank you so much for that. So once again, pre-order of the ebook only is available. And when you pre-order the ebook, you are on the list for free gifts, which include a 5-part course that I taught on outer planet transits and a live event that I'll be doing online, a party for all of us together in the later part of June. So be on the lookout for that, and I hope that you will join. If you want to pre-order the hard copy, you're going to have to wait until launch day, which is June 11. So this gift giving will stay open right to the end of the day, June 11, so that if you would rather get the hard copy book, that's great. However, if you can get the Kindle edition, the ebook, that would be amazing as well. And I see that so many of you are. It is ranking already, and I just am humbled. I'm grateful. Thank you. Thank you for your trust and support again of my work. And oh my God, of Ravens and Dragonflies. It's so, so exciting. I love that I can share something within myself, that it could be so well received, but also my hope is that this book helps people for a long time to come. Anytime you're going through a tough transit of an outer planet moving through a house, you can go to this book. You can look up the section on whatever house that outer planet is transiting through, and hopefully it can illuminate, it can bring hope, it can bring insight and wisdom to your current journey and your journey ahead. So learn more about the book and get your pre-order now. All those links, more information is available at synchronicitypublications.com. Links are in the description below. And I have an incredible class coming up at Kepler College. Only once a year I teach a business class there, and it is called YouTube for Astrologers, but really it's spiritual entrepreneurship. I know that they have an early bird rate happening right now, and you can also pay in installments right now as well. I will link to that course below, and you can learn a lot more about that. Mentorship is a big part of the experience. Space is extremely limited so that I can provide that one-on-one mentorship that is part of this course. And this class always sells out. So I think it's the fourth or fifth year that I'm teaching this course. I love being a part of the faculty at Kepler College, one of the most renowned astrological institutions in the world. It is such a privilege. And yes, if you feel that you want to, whatever it is that you do, share it in bigger ways, share it with more people, and you want that support, that encouragement, but also a lot of really practical tools so that you understand how it is that you can get a spiritual entrepreneurship business going, and utilizing social media. I am here to help you in that process with this course. So again, the course always sells out. Thank you for that. Thank you for your trust. If you think you might be interested, please go have a look. There's a detailed description of the class and the course available on the Kepler College website, and it's directly with them that you sign up and they take care of all of that for you. There's a student portal and there's so much more. So learn more, sign up now at Kepler College. Links are in the description below. Synchronicity University has some incredible programs coming up this July, starting this July only at Synchronicity University, with our world famous choose your tuition rate on right now. Can you believe it? Yes, right now, as low as just $5 a class. And we have got huge superstar astrologers who are coming to Synchronicity University. Some of our favorites as well are going to be joining us. And for some of these teachers, this is the only place you're going to be able to learn from them at that $5 a class rate. Nowhere else do they teach at that lower rate except at Synchronicity University. And so I'm going to just quickly let you know, one class is mine, which is Money, Power, Respect. We are looking at success and prosperity and the different places in the chart that you find it. I'm really looking forward to teaching this class. I think it works as a really nice complement. It's going to run side by side with the Kepler class. So if you're taking one, you can take the other as well. Whereas my class at Synchronicity University is going to focus on the astrology of prosperity, of success. It is at Kepler, of course, like I said, it's going to be the more practical stuff that you're going to look at. Only one small part of the first class deals with astrology, and you don't have to be an astrologer to take that class at all. So whether you want to take both or you just want to take the class that has to do with the actual skills you need to look at where prosperity lies in the chart, how to utilize it, how to maximize it, how to align with success as you uniquely define it. That's what this 5-part course at Synchronicity University is going to teach you. So learn a whole lot more and sign up now at synchronicityuniversity.com. Links are in the description below. Synchronicity University presents the return of one of our most popular teachers, the one and only Mark Laurenson. Anybody who's taken his class, I mean, I've heard it again and again. People have said, wow, this class changed my practice, it changed my astrology. It really helps to root you in a soul-centered astrology, which is what Mark Laurenson uniquely teaches. He is famous in Australia, and now more and more people are knowing him around the world. And I love Synchronicity University's partnership with the one and only Mark Laurenson. He's going to be teaching on the goddess asteroids Ceres, Lilith, and Eris. These are powerful goddess figures in astrology, and regardless of your gender identity, he's going to teach you how to tap into these energies, to honor them, to magnify them to your advantage in all kinds of ways. So check out, you can learn a whole lot more about Mark's class at synchronicityuniversity.com for a limited time, $5 a class on right now for a very limited time. Links are in the description below. Synchronicity University presents Alex Trenoweth. What? Superstar astrologer, multi-book author. Alex Trenoweth is coming to Synchronicity University with her own course. And this is going to be about Jupiter and Saturn. 5 classes on Jupiter and Saturn. This is huge. I know that this is a topic that a lot of people are going to get so much out of, and she is a world-renowned teacher. She's taught all over the world. She is a celebrated astrologer. She is a big dog, and she is coming with her own 5-part course on Jupiter and Saturn. She's going to help you to tap into these energies, to maximize these energies, to see how they work together, to help you to manifest your best life, your dreams, and so much more. You can learn a whole lot more about Alex's course and sign up now. Links are in the description below. Synchronicity University has an incredible speaker series coming up this July. And just like all these other programs I've mentioned so far, you've got a little bit of time left to choose your tuition rate until the end of June, as low as just $5 a class for these incredible world-class teachers. They include the people that you see here. Astro Victor will be teaching on how to read solar return charts. Nadiya Robles, one of my personal astrologers, we co-wrote a book together called Mayan Astrology. Well, she's going to be teaching on working with mundane cycles, which is used to help us to understand, to tap into world events through astrology. Cosmic Homegirl April is back. She's one of my most favorite astrologers, and I know she's super popular with you guys. She is going to be teaching on situationships and understanding relationships. Toby Aldrin, you've seen him on my channel before, will be teaching on house rulerships and the treasures there. And Elena Lumen is going to be teaching on Arabic astrology from a natal perspective and Hori perspective and more. So you can see we've got an incredible group here. Classes that you'll absolutely love, new topics as well. Brilliant astrologers, and for a limited time, just $5 a class, only at synchronicityuniversity.com. Links are in the description below. And thank you. Thank you so much for this moment with you. Thank you for your trust. I'm so grateful for it. I'm back in Brazil. You may be able to tell. I'm super happy to be here. And I'm just so very grateful for all of you. I had a class, it has to be rescheduled. The last class is part of our relationships course that we've been doing together. Be on the lookout for information about that, and monthly horoscopes, likely a little bit late this month as well. Thank you for your patience with that. But just thank you for your love and enthusiasm of my work. Again, my book is coming out, new courses coming up, amazing astrologers coming to Synchronicity University, and so much more. All of that, links are below. And for all of it, I thank you. I thank you for your enthusiasm, your love, your support for my work, and so much more. It'll be a great week. Enjoy.